Hello friends, I am Arpit and I'm here with today's analysis. Today is 18th of July and we are going to deal with one very important topic which is in news, that is rules for governing the civil servants. Now these rules basically are there for the probationary officers as well as for those who have completed their probation. And one such probationary officer, Ms. Puja Khedkar, is in news for flouting these rules. She demanded a separate chamber, which she is not entitled to as a probationary officer. She is roaming on a luxury vehicle, a Audi four-wheeler with a red and blue colored light on that, again flouting the rules. At the time of selection, she submitted two certificates to get reservation. One was the certificate of physically handicapped and second was the certificate of OBC. Those two have also been in question right now. Investigation has to be done by a one member committee which has been formed by DOPT, and let's see what the findings turn out to be. Now, rules governing the civil servants. The center Thursday constituted a single member committee. The single member committee has been formed under Department of Personnel and Training, that is DOPT, to examine all documents submitted by probationary IAS officer Puja Khedkar to secure her candidature in the civil service. Her candidature has been a big question because it is being believed by the central government now that the certificates submitted by Puja Khedkar were false. And in this case, if they are proven to be false, then she will have to leave her service. Puja Khedkar secured a rank of 821 in the 2022 UPSC Civil Services examination, and despite this rank, she got into the prestigious IAS, which is the topmost service. She got there due to two reservations with her, one OBC and one physically handicapped. And questions have been raised about her appointment under these categories. Are there any other charges on Puja? Yes, there are certain other charges. She has been seeking special privileges she is not entitled to as a probationer. Like, she has been demanding a separate chamber for her and she is not entitled for that. Occupying the antechamber of the district collector's office. Second is using an unauthorized red blue beacon on her private car, a luxury Audi sedan, which she claims to have received as a gift from her father. Again, a big question. The actions taken on her. In light of this controversy, the Maharashtra government on July 8 decided to transfer Khedkar from Pune to Washim. First action. Second action has been taken by the Director General of Labasna, that is Lal Bahadur Shastri National Academy for Administration, which is stationed in Mumbai, and she has been relieved from her duties in the district under Government of Maharashtra, and she has been recalled back to Labasna, and she has to report there by 23rd July maximum. And the third is a single member committee has been formed to examine documents. This single member committee under DOPT. Now, this will be examining the documents of submitted by her and authenticating them. But the larger question is that what rules should be followed by civil servants, and these rules have to be you know uh, followed. If they are flouted, then actions are taken according to the flouting of the rules. Khedkar's actions as a civil servant are governed primarily by two rules: All India Services Conduct Rules 1968 and Indian Administrative Service Rules 1954. So, this has to be taken care of. The All India Services Conduct Rules 1968. So, first of all, we should understand that which services are All India Services. There are three services which are counted as All India Services. First is Indian Administrative Service, second is Indian Police Service, and the third is Indian Forest Service. The members of All India Service are recruited by the center, but yes, they are deputed in the states. They, draw the salary from the state governments only. They work for the state governments, and whenever needed or required, they are called back by the center. So this is what All India Service is, and IAS, Indian Police Service and Indian Forest Service, these three are there considered as All India Services. The rules: AIS Conduct Rules 3.1 says every member of the service shall at times maintain absolute integrity and devotion to duty. Very generic, I would say, rule it is. Rule 4.1 is more specific about what is unbecoming. It states that officers must not use their position or influence to secure employment for any member of his or her family with any private undertaking or NGO. So, this undue advantage should not be there. According to Rule 11.1, officers may accept gifts from near relatives. They are allowed to accept gifts, like she has accepted gift, that Audi car, or personal friends with whom they have no official dealings on occasions such as weddings, anniversaries, funerals, and religious functions. However, they must report to the government any gift whose value exceeds rupees 25,000. This threshold was updated in 2015. They can receive from near relatives, personal friends, not from those people whom you have to do business with, or you know some people who are businessmen posing as your friends can gift you. And any gift which is worth 25,000 and above has to be reported to the government. And obviously that luxury sedan Audi is way above 25,000. It is 100 times that. It will be more than 100 times that. That is more than 25 lakh rupees. Officers should maintain high ethical standards, integrity and honesty, political neutrality, accountability and transparency, responsiveness to the public, particularly to the weaker sections, courtesy and good behavior with the public. These are sub rules which were added in 2014 for the members of All India Services. Rules for probationers. When you get into the services, initial 2 years, you are on probation. Sometime you spend in Labasna, sometime you spend on the field. So Puja Khedkar spent her time in Labasna. Now she was in field where her posting had to be. That is Maharashtra cadre she might have got. And now this is there that there are certain rules for probationals as well. There is an additional set of rules that govern the conduct of officers during their probation period, which lasts for at least 2 years after selection. This includes the period of officers training at the Lal Bahadur Shastri National Academy for Administration in Mussoorie as well. At the end of the 2 years, officers sit for an examination and they have to clear the examination. Then only they will be commissioned as officers. During the probation period, officers draw a fixed salary and travel allowance. But there are certain things they are not entitled to as a probationary officer, and these things are entitled to only when they become full scale officers, or I would say complete officers after completing their probation. So they are not entitled to, as a right, a number of benefits that confirmed IAS officers receive. These include an official car with a VIP number plate, official accommodation, official chamber with adequate staff, constable, etc. Now, she was demanding this official chamber, which she actually should not have because she is a probationary officer. Can probationary officers be discharged? Yes, they can be discharged under certain circumstances, means they will be relieved from office, means their service will be gone. Rule 12 gives the circumstances in which probationers can be discharged. These include the central government finding the probationer ineligible for recruitment or unsuitable to be a member of the service, probationary willfully neglecting her probationary studies because she has to clear that exam after 2 years, or duties, the probationer lacking in qualities of mind and character needed for service. Now, the center holds a summary inquiry before passing an order under these rules, like the one that has been initiated against Khedkar by the DOPT. So, inquiry is being done by that one member committee. Now, if that committee finds out, then she will be discharged. The committee will submit its report within 2 weeks. So, let us see, what fate has for her. How did she get into the IAS despite that rank? One line answer or one word answer, that is reservation. But what level of reservation she got? Let us look at this. Now, since the batch of 1995, 27% of the seats have been reserved for the OBC category. OBC category was announced in the early 90s. So, since 1995, this has been applicable to this particular service. Physically handicapped reservation was introduced with the batch of 2006. That is 3% seats in every category. General, OBC, SC and ST are reserved for the differently abled. Now she had both. She belonged to OBC also and she posed herself as physically disabled. She showed certain, I would say, problems in her vision. Despite her low rank, Khedkar was allotted IAS, India's premier civil services, due to these quotas. Both of these quotas were applicable. However, if her OBC and PH certificates are proven to have been falsified, Khedkar stands to be discharged from service. If these certificates will be falsified, then she will be discharged. Now the DOPT circular. What does the DOPT circular states? DOPT circular from 1993 states whether it is found that a government servant has furnished false information or produced a false certificate in order to secure appointment, he should not be retained in service. And if it is proven that the certificates submitted by Puja Khedkar are false in nature, she will be removed. This is applicable even if the person is in question is not a probationer. Even if that person is a confirmed officer, probation has been completed, but later on it is found out that the certificates submitted by that person is false, then that person will also be removed. Can this removal be challenged? Yes, it can be challenged in the Central Administrative Tribunal and the National OBC Commission, because she has that OBC certificate also, so she can challenge it in that OBC National OBC Commission also. Both are basically constitutional bodies. Challenges which may drag on for years. But in the interim, when the case is going on them, if the officer is a confirmed officer, that officer will continue to be delivering the duties. If that officer is a probationer, that officer will be discharged from duties when the case is going on. She may be re-inducted when the case turns out to be in her favor. But yes, as of now, you know, things will not be in her favor. She will be discharged. The question on her physical disability. Khedkar was previously embroiled in a legal battle in the Central Administrative Tribunal. Already her case has been going on. Now, regarding her physically handicapped status, as per CAT order dated February 23, 2023, UPSC had asked Khedkar to undergo a medical examination at the AIMS, because UPSC also had that certificate, and UPSC tells every physically handicapped person who is getting selected for the service to go under a medical examination. And they asked her to go undergo a medical examination at the AIMS, New Delhi, in April 2022, but she sought a postponement citing a COVID-19 infection. So, okay, they said that okay, you come later on. She did not arrive at a rescheduled examination also. Although she is learned to have later submitted an MRI report, but this MRI report from a private facility to support her claims. She has shown 7% visibility issues in her eyes. Now, the CAT order after this, she did not turn up to AIMS. It is that you have to turn up to AIMS only, or whatever that very medical facility where you have to be, you are called upon. But she did not turn up to AIMS. So the CAT order was released despite making multiple attempts by the duty officer in AIMS to contact the applicant. Applicant is Puja Khedkar. No response was received from her. Therefore, the percentage of vision disability could not be assessed. The CAT order read. So, her disability has not been assessed according to CAT, that is Central Administrative Tribunal. But yes, now it all depends on that one member committee which has been freshly formed and has to submit the report within 2 weeks. And she has been called upon in Labasna. Maybe she might undergo vision test now. The question on her OBC status. Critics have pointed to Khedkar's ostensibly well-to-do background to question her OBC status. Actually, her father is a regional officer. And sadly, her father also underwent suspension in 2018, and he has gone and underwent suspension twice because there were claims or there were complaints against him that he has been demanding bribe from various businessmen in that Mumbai area where he was posted. So he retired as the director of Maharashtra's Pollution Control Board, and he retired last year, 2023. There's also a story that he was made to retire. He was made to resign because of the irregularities posed by him, during his service. But, he has amassed a lot of wealth, and his wealth is also a big, big question. After all, he is able to gift an Audi to her daughter. So definitely that will be a big question. The OBC category is subdivided into the creamy and non-creamy layers, with only the later benefiting from the reservation, means the non-creamy layers are benefited from the reservation. Now the question is whether Puja Khedkar is in the non-creamy layer or in the creamy layer. That is a big, big question. So let us see who is the creamy layer. For those whose parents work in the private sector and their annual income is more than 8 lakh rupees, they will be considered as creamy layer in the OBCs. Now, this concept of creamy layer is exclusive for OBCs. For those with parents who work in the public sector, like Puja Khedkar's case is here, income is not taken into account. Rather, as per DOPT rules, what qualifies people to be in the creamy layer is there are two criteria. First, either parent becoming a Group A official before the age of 40. So, if before the age of 40, any of the parent becomes a Group A officer, you will be there in the creamy layer. You will not be entitled for reservation under OBC. Both being Group B officials with the similar ranks, then also you will not be entitled as creamy layer. You will not be given reservation. So this will also be investigated for her. And there may be a possibility that both OBC as well as physically handicapped status are taken away and the service is taken away. She will be discharged from her duties. Now comes the MCQs. Consider the following and mark the correct statement. The first is all the services allotted after clearing UPSC Civil Services examination are referred to as All India services. There is mention about All India services in the Constitution. So which of these statements are correct? Only one, only two, both one and two, neither one nor two. Second, consider the following statements and mark the correct one. First, an All India service officer can receive gifts from near relatives. If the value of gift is above rupees 50,000, then declaration has to be made to the government. Which of these statements are correct? Third, how many of the following provisions are available with the probationary IAS officer? They are allotted to an official residence. They are allotted an official vehicle. They are allotted a constable. Only one statement, only two statements, all the statements are correct or none of the statements are correct. Fourth, in what circumstances can an IAS officer be discharged from duty? In case of misconduct with the public, in case of furnishing wrong documents for gaining employment, in case of using a red beacon during probation, both B and C. So, what is there? Fifth, consider the following statements and mark the correct one. The concept of creamy layer is applicable in the OBC category only and not in SC and ST. For any individual whose either of the parents have got into any government service is not eligible for the quota under creamy layer concept. The concept of creamy layer is applicable to those individuals whose parents are working in the private sector. Which of these statements are correct? Now, yesterday's MCQs. Which of the following bills has been passed as money bill? Finance Act 2018. No, it is Finance Act 2017. Aadhaar Act 2016. Amendments to the PMLA. Both 2 and 3 are correct. This is from that newspaper clipping which was posted in the beginning of the document yesterday. Consider the following statements and mark the correct one. Money bill has to be certified by the Speaker of the Lok Sabha. Yes, this statement is true, and that certificate, that endorsement has to go along with the bill to Rajya Sabha and to the President as well. If there is a question about a bill, whether it is a money bill or not, the decision of the President is final. No, this is not true. The decision of the Speaker is final over here, Speaker of Lok Sabha. So this is not true. So only one is going to be the correct answer. Consider the following statements and mark how many of them are correct. The money bill cannot be amended by Rajya Sabha. This is correct. A money bill can be introduced by any MP in the Lok Sabha only. Lok Sabha only is correct, but any MP is not correct. It has to be a government bill, means it has to be introduced by a minister. The president has to give his assent to the bill. This is correct. So, only two statements are correct in this particular question. The fourth question, which factor is making India-Russia trade unsustainable? Pressure of Western countries on India? No, this is not there. But this is there, but India is not taking that pressure. India, after or despite of that pressure, kept on increasing its imports from Russia. The increasing trade deficit for India, this is making, India-Russia trade unsustainable because India-Russia trade is in rupee ruble and that is becoming unsustainable because of high trade deficit for India. The blockade done by Russia in the Black Sea, it is not impacting India. This is B is the right option. Which of the following countries are part of Eurasian Economic Union? So this was a factual question, not a direct one, but a factual question. Russia, Kazakhstan, Armenia. These three are there. Uzbekistan is not part of it. So 1, 2 and 4, C is the correct answer of this particular question. Now with this, we've come to an end of today's session. I will be seeing you tomorrow now with more such informative news pieces. Till then, you guys very well know what to do. Keep studying, keep reading, keep writing, and most importantly, keep revising. Keep reading the newspapers as well. Namaste. Jai Hind.